by the way, will be an open string, can you give me that note plus 4 more notes going up, ascending in the key of G major? And so our first lucky contestant who's going to tell us the E string notes, okay, open E plus 4 more notes, is Crystal. Okay, so you have no idea. Okay, so I want you to think alphabet. When you hear somebody else, give us the answer, all right? So focus in. We're just moving up steps and think the key signature for G major. So Caitlin, E string plus 4 more notes.
E, F sharp, G, A, B.
Good. And Hannah, what would the fingerings be? Okay, open 1, low 2, 3, 4. Good. Okay, so the half step's going to be between 1 and low 2. A string, drink. A, B, C, D, E is what he said, and so the fingering Libby will be. That's right. Okay, so the half step is once again between 1 and low 2. Asia, D string. Okay. Rashad, what would that fingering be? Open 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 2 is not low, so now the half step's between the 2 and the 3. G string, Blaze. G, A, B, C, D. Okay, and so we have, back to, we're going to ask a violinist what that fingering is on the G string. Dahlia. Open 1, 2, 3, 4. So violins in the key of G, we have the lower 2 strings versus the upper 2 strings. Okay, so I need to find a cellist or a violist. Oh, good, here's a cellist. Mackenzie, C string. Right, and then William, the violist, would want to know for his 4th finger he's going to play G, right? So, William, what will the fingering be on your C string? Open 1. I hear height 3 and 4. What about 2? Is there a second finger involved? Yeah. Open 1, 2, height 3, 4. And cellos, what kind of hand position are we going to have? Since we have F sharp. Extension, okay? All extensions are between the 1st and 2nd finger. All right, so now, we reviewed those finger patterns. I want everyone to find, we get to do this because there's carpet in the room, all right? I want you to see if you can find the balance point of your bow. So I'm going to give you permission to touch one hair, because I generally will do it this way. And find the balance point of the bow. It's worth a lot of money. So, did anybody have to go all the way to the halfway point? Can you visualize? Did anybody make it to the halfway point? Okay, so no one made it to the halfway point, I hope, right? So the logical reason is the frog is heavier than the tip, so to have the equal amount of weight on each side, we have to be a shorter distance on the frog side. Alright, so that's where I want your bow to make contact with the string and check your lane. And we're going to bounce the bow. but start with the bow on the string. And we're going to try to get that bounce to happen. We're going to get the bounce to happen by pushing in quickly. Alright, so not by dropping it, but it's already on the string. Give it a check mark or a big accent, and then try to keep your bow hand. This is why teachers, since your 5th grade, have been saying, please have a nice bow hold, please have a bent thumb, because if we have tension, then the bow might not behave like you want it to. And another thing, keep the hair flat. Alright, we're going to start down bow. Okay, let's just do it on the D string. I will pick a middle string. So, slower for right now. So 1 and 2 and ready, go. Alright, good. So we're going to do that on our finger patterns. In the key of G. Alright, just like that, okay? So the last note will be, and then we'll move on to the next string. So it's going to feel different on each string, but you're trying to keep your bow at the balance point. Alright? That's where the bow bounces the easiest. The weight is equal on both sides. So if you're up here trying to do it, maybe you will get it, but I don't think you'll be so happy with the sound. Or if you hear, you'll probably struggle with the evenness. So try for the balance point. And flat hair. My teacher at ASU, Dr. Spinoza, always made us use like flat hair. Okay, here we go. Ready? Starting on the G. So we're going up 5 notes. Cellos, either you can shift. Basses you can shift or use multiple strings. Here we go. Set in the key of G. On the G, beginning on the G string. 1, 2, ready, go. So before we do the next string, try to evaluate yourself and think about the sound implications. You do not win a prize for the highest. Okay? I want you to think like it's one of those airplane landings. It's your first ever airplane flight, but you're with a brand new pilot. And we're going to get a bumpy landing. Okay? But since he's coming in for the landing, there's still going to be some horizontal aspect to it. Alright? So we get some sound. It's not going to be very nice if it's like this. Alright? I can do that all day. I can do it really loud. And nothing's pleasing about that, okay? Let's try it on the D string. Ready? In the key of G. 1, 2, ready, go. A string. 2, ready, go. C string. 1, 2, ready, go. Thank you for making your F sharps better on the descending than it was on the ascent. And now, the E string. E string. Okay, this is going to be my hardest string. It's just not like different arm level. Ready? Here we go. E string. 1, 2, ready, go. Good, let's take a look at the essential questions on the board. Question number 1. How do you perform the above articulation? I see the 8 notes. And I see dots. How do you perform that? Awesome. Okay. You used the term short bow. What else? What other descriptions can we use? Oh, look at that ironic. Her hand went up there. There's your name.
Separated notes.
Okay, separation between the notes. All right, so between the bow strokes. Okay. Anything else, Libby? Short, quick bows. Okay, so everybody's aware that the dot means. We know one thing that the people in this class are not going to do when they see the dots over those notes. They're not going to play smooth connected bows. Correct? Okay. So the question is, we have this in music. How do we play it? There's more than one choice. That gets us to number 2. What are the determining factors for choosing to perform, which we just did, by the way, spiccato. Notice the spelling, 2 C's. Remember that spelling for staccato as well, 2 C's, only one T. Okay, what are the determining factors for choosing to perform spiccato? All right? They are speed of the composition, the tempo of the composition. All right? So when we're looking at the music and we see these notes, the determining factor is, well, if it's very slow, that's not spiccato. Spiccato is what we've been playing, bouncing the bow. All right, one of the determining factors is the tempo. All right, because if it's very fast, like that, there's no possible way to go. Right? We can't do. That won't work at a super fast speed. That's where the spiccato technique, this technique of bouncing the bow comes in. Okay? This is what we're going to have to do for our music performance assessment selection, Allegro Barbero. Okay? I think they might have put the word spiccato in the music. All right? The 8 bits will be going so fast, we're going to have to do spiccato. But you know what? I wrote a little piece for you. I didn't write it. Beethoven wrote it. So you can turn your music over now. And I adapted it from Beethoven because I wanted you to have some fun while trying out spiccato. Now, let me tell you, so does everybody have the music? Okay, I did. I tried to transpose all the parts so that nobody had to worry about shifting. Okay, so I wrote it for the violin, and then I adapted it for the others. I don't think anybody has shifting. Okay? Second of all, when you take this home to practice, the metronome marking was like the default metronome marking from Finale, and I didn't change it. So just, right now we're going to go at a slower speed than 120. So, yes, Kate. Oh, well, let's get you the correct part. Make sure everybody has the correct part. I have fun. Ready? Okay? Alright, so, first of all, take about 20 seconds to glance over the music. Notice not all the 16ths are groups of 4. So there will be measures that are more challenging than others. We're going to say that measure 9 is the most exciting and most challenging measure. Okay? So you actually can use this just to practice your spiccato. You could choose, hey, I'll practice measure 1 quite a bit. It has a lot of repeated notes. When you feel more comfortable, maybe you'll try for measure 9 or measure 7. Okay? Which will give us to another thing having to do with spiccato, is trying to keep it in the balance point because we have to deal with string changes. Alright, so sample, it will sound like this. We're going to go 1 E enda, 2 E enda, 3 E enda, 4 E enda. Okay? 1 E enda, 2 E enda, 3 E enda, 4 E enda. 1, 2, ready, play. Good. Who would like to volunteer and tell me what measure was their hardest measure? I'll just ask. Rachel, what was your hardest measure? 10. Okay. So, interesting. Joel, bass player?
The one with the 16
That would be all of them. So you're saying the technique is hard on bass. Yeah, it is a little harder. You got the heaviest bow. Okay? We're asking these pieces of wood, straight shape, to do that for us. Okay? And most of the issue is getting it started. All right? Can we start at measure 5? Let's go a little bit slower. Ready? Here we go. Measure 5. Ready? Play. Let's have, I divided you up into groups yesterday. We're only going to play, don't panic. I'm going to ask each group to play 3 measures plus 1 note. So our group A, I'm going to ask, let's ask Caitlin to join group A. Normally you want to be in group A. You weren't here yesterday when we were dividing into groups. You're taking Rebecca's place today, okay? So that's everybody whose birthday is in January, February, or March. Plus Kate, plus if your birthday's on September 28th. Okay, here we go. Ready? That's group A.
The first measure?
First 3 measures plus 1 note. Here we go. Ready, go. That's it. That's all we want. That's all we have time for. Group B, people whose birthdays are June or July and September 17th. Go. Ready? Yes? No, we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. We're going to do the same measures. We're all doing the same measures. 3 measures plus 1 note. Ready? Play. Good, okay? So when I'm playing spiccato passages, I'm always wary of those string changes. Eventually, the ones that I have to practice really slow are the string changes. Group C. Birthdays in August, October, or December.